Okay, so we run the model and here is the result that the six sites with the same acres, river distance, and excess population that we got previously. So now we're going to run the model as a tool. So if we go in analysis and tools, so that two boxes, so like some tool as a script tool. So if we open it up, let's see. Spatial analysis tool, spatial statistic tool, like analyzing pattern. So those are the script tool. So now we will set up the model as a geoprocessing tool. So this is an efficient way to run a model, and it's a good way to share the model with people who may want to use it but are not so interested in the details of its construction. Like those, we use those tools, but we don't know the construction of the tools. So, okay, they just want to use as a tool, and they don't want the detail. Okay, detail of its construction. So when we run a model as a tool, it has a dialog box interface like any other geoprocessing tool, and the user sets parameters as and click run. And behind the scenes, of course, the model is a long train of tools like this, each of which has its own required and optional parameters. So if all these parameters had to be set by the users in the model's dialog box, it would be a long process. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So when we set up the model to run as a tool, we specify with parameters from which tool inside a model will be displayed in the model dialog box. Only these parameters are filled out by user, so we can supply default values. So all others are preset by you then. And the user running the tool never sees them. So in other words, we decide how flexible to make the tool. And the ability to test the sensitivity to change in variables and to explore alternative outcomes are key reasons for building models in the first place. So accordingly, when we set up the model to run as a tool, we should think about which factors the users is most likely to want to experiment with. That's how you meet with the end user and show them what's going on, and then the end user will tell you. But the issue was sometimes there are miscommunication, and you need a lot of time to work with the end users, and it's not easy, but you just have to keep working with them. And some people might not be happy with you. They will complain, "Oh, can you do this?" Or they will not trust you. You just have to work with them, and be positive. Have a positive mindset, and that's very important. Okay, so now we will open the model. So I have it open. I don't think I closed it last time, so I'm gonna close this out. Okay, so that we added the model by right-clicking on it and to run the model as a geoprocessing tool. So now I think I have everything open, and the model opens a geoprocessing tool similar to all the other tools we have been using in this book. So I'm gonna go back to save it and close it out. And toolbox. So if I double click on it, and the geoprocessing pane will tell us that we do not have parameters. So it is just an empty gray dialog box, with the message here, and we cannot run it. I guess we could with the parameters there, so I'm gonna just stop it. Okay, failed. Okay, I don't want to run it. And because we haven't configured with parameters we want to show here yet, and the run button is displayed. However, we can run it directly from here, and it will use all the model parameters we configured in the previous here. And I'm gonna close it out and right click on it and click Edit. So now we see our model again. And now in the model window, zoom into the left side of the model and set the view scale to comfortable level. So fit to, alright. I just close out everything then. We will make the tool parameter for buffer size. So users of the model tool will probably want to experiment with the buffer sizes for maximum distance from the river, 0.5 miles, and minimum distance from existing parks, 0.25 miles. And to display these distances as parameter, when we run the model as a tool, we must first define them as variables. So this configuration allows their values to be changed anytime the model is run. So when we flag the variables as parameters we want to include in the Models to dialog box. And in the model window, we right-click on the buffer tool and connect the Los Angeles. So right here, and then connect to this and click variable from parameter. So I'm gonna create variable and from parameter, and then I will say distance, value, or field. Okay, so I have this thing. And the setting says that we want the distance parameter in the buffer tool to be a variable in Model Builder. A small light blue ellipse called value distance value of variable is added to the model window. And move the variable a bit so it will not overlap with other elements, so which I did. And I double click the variable to open the dialog box so that we can see here within the model window the distance parameter is now detached from the buffer tool and can only be set here, and we will accept the current value of 0.5 miles that we set earlier. And we will close the dialog box and by clicking just OK, or click the X in the upper right hand side corner. And then we will right click on the value variable and click parameter. So right here, and I'm gonna click parameter. So the letter P for parameter appears above the variable. So the variable name in the oval is important for tool parameters. This name will appear as the label for the parameter on the tool. We do not really want the label to ask for distance, value, or field. A more descriptive name could be distance to Los Angeles River. And we will rename the distance value or field and variable distance to Los Angeles River. So rename it. Right click on it and just say rename distance to Los Angeles River. Alright, so we make the parameter for the park's buffer distance in the same way. So to do that, create variables and then not from environment. For the park, park was not here. Parks is right here. So right click on it, make and distance, alright, and then double click on it. Yep, 2.5. Right click on it, parameter, and then I'm gonna rename. Alright, distance from parks. There. Parameter. Make it bigger. So it's too big. So what I did was the same way. Right click on buffer, and then go to create variable, and from parameters, and then I chose distance value of field and move it so doesn't it overlap the other element. So I right click the variable and click parameter. So that's how right now it has the P parameter. And once I have the parameter and I rename this variable distance from parks, and gonna save the model. In the project pane, in the project toolbox, we double click the park suitability analysis model again and look at the resulting tool dialog box. So save, and I'm gonna close it out and go back to view and catalog pane and double click. There, now we have our parameter. So now the two buffer distance parameters have been added to the dialog box along with the parameter name and default values. And this distance can now be changed and the model run, but we will wait and create more parameters first. So we will make parameters from demographics and park size. Close it out, right click on it and click Edit. So we will right click the make feature, so make feature layer, which is right here, that comes from proximity zone demographics, and click create variable from parameter expression. So create variable and parameter. So for the parameter, so a value variable with the name expression is added to the model window. So I will say expression. So this expression is added. And move the new variable to a good spot. I did, and rename it. So I would say demographic criteria. And we will flag this variable as a parameter. So set it as a parameter. And then we will right click the make feature tool right here. Right click on it, make a variable, and from parameter and expression. There. So for this one, we will move to this variable to a good spot and hover over the parameter to see its expression. So acres greater than 0.25, and its type is displayed as an SQL statement, which is how the clauses we created are ultimately evaluated by ArcGIS Pro. And we will rename. I'm gonna rename this as delete everything. So I will have park size in acres. There, park size in acres, and I resized it, and perfect. And flag this parameter. Right click on it, and make as a parameter. So now parameter, model parameter, we will scroll to the right if necessary to click the spatial join to connection to the block centroids input and create variable from variable search radius. So spatial join and then from parameters and search radius. Okay, so for the search radius, that I will rename, make this as a parameter. I'm gonna rename it. So search radius, that I will have park access distance. And we will flag this, I already did. And now I'm gonna do auto layout and fit in our screen. So we will validate the model and save the project. So at this point, we are done creating the model and can run as a tool. When models are configured properly with parameters, they can run just like any of the other tools in the toolbox, such as buffer, clip, spatial join, and so on. And the user of the tool simply provides a new parameters to run it and never has to open up the model or even really understand how it works. We have now configured the model with enough parameters to run it quickly and easily as a tool. We will also add a few more parameters to give users even more control over how to run the analysis. So now we're going to run the tool. double click on it. So now we can see here we have a query and everything, and we can change the query thing. So So in the project pane, we will double click Park Suitability Analysis tool in the toolbox. So to display the parameters we have specified, we can click Run to run the tool as the default parameters that we set in model as a progress bar, and status messages are displayed at the bottom of the geoprocessing pane. When the tool is finished running, expand and refresh the model outputs geodatabase. So note that the only feature class in the geodatabase now is recommended site. This is because ArcGIS Pro assumes that the only output to be saved are either the very last output in a chain or output flagged as a parameter. All other datasets created during the execution of the model are considered intermediate and are deleted after the tool runs successfully. Therefore, any output datasets created by the model that might be useful should be flagged as a parameter. In the model current state, we probably want to keep the Los Angeles River buffer feature class, so we will make that parameter in a last step here. So we will open the Park Suitability Analysis tool and double-click Accept Distance to the river by changing the distance to Los Angeles River parameters to 1. So I'm going to change this to 1 and then leave it 2.5. So I'm going to, everything remains the same. So I'm going to drag this a little bit to the right. Everything remains. I'm going to click Run. And when the tool is finished running, we will remove the recommended site layer from here and add it again to the model outputs geodatabase, and then open the recommended sites attribute as a table. So it's done running, and I'm gonna go back to contents pane, and I'm gonna remove this layer, and catalog pane, which is right here, and folders. No, it's in database, and right here. Okay, I'm gonna refresh again. That's weird. Refresh. Cannot refresh from here. Okay, everything save Kathy. Yep, model outputs. Okay, model outputs. That's weird. You know what? I'm gonna go to history, and it's already run. And can I say add to display? So that's weird. Recommended site. Let's go back. Recommended site. Iran. Fresh. Okay, I'm gonna add to display. Yeah. I'm gonna save the model. Everything is saved. Let's see what's going on here. Double click again. I'm gonna change this into 1 and gonna run it again. Oh, the clauses is gone. Okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna save it again. Okay, there was an error here. Okay, let's see. Okay, something wrong with the model. Well, it's a huge model, but it's a good practice to see what's going on, and that's something I have to double check. Failed to execute, cannot. Alright. Let's see what happened to erase. Okay, now I have erased. Okay, let's run this. Okay. Okay. This is fine. Copy features. There, this is fine. Near. Okay, spatial join. Add to display. Okay. Alright, so now I have it. Okay, so let's open the attribute table. That's the sixth one. Okay, then I'm gonna go back to my model builder. Gonna save everything. And gonna close it out. Okay, it should run. Let's just wait and see. Okay, it's running. And once we finish, we should have 27. Perfect. Okay, but the issue was, where is the output? That's very interesting. I'm gonna refresh it again. Okay. Oh, no, what did I did? I don't want label. Okay, so I add to display. Open attribute table. There we have a 27. I don't know what's going on here. That's really weird. Cannot find in the geo database. It's not in geo database. That's really weird. But the thing is that I right click on this, and the last one, and just this, can I just add it here? Gonna refresh. I don't understand why it doesn't show up in my geo database. So can I export it to the geo database? So I can just say 1 mile. Okay. 1 mile. Okay. In the geo database. Just click run. There. So that's the 1 mile. And it should be in geo database now. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's just the name. Alright, so there. So let me see. Open. Let me add it here. Site and identity. Site identity. 27. Okay, that's the layer. That's why it's just this one. Okay. Okay, so by double click the distance from the river that we consider acceptable. For a new park, we now have a 27 recommended parks instead of the original 6. Now imagine making the same minor modification to the step-by-step analysis we did in previous videos. This is relatively minor change, would have to take a long time to do, and will leave several opportunities for other mistakes to creep up in the process. So there was some issue, but you can just run one tool at a time. So the model builder, the most difficult part is you figured out which one you use as a parameter, and that will take a long time. And now we will make a tool parameter for the outputs. So we will flagging the outputs of the model as tool parameters will allow you to keep the outputs after the process tool runs and add the results as a layer to the map. More importantly, it will give you the control over where to save the outputs and whether they should overwrite each other as we experiment with the different values in successive runs of the model. We may want to save the results with different names as we can compare them. So we will switch the model view of park suitability analysis and go to the tab if it is still open, or right-click the model in the project pane and click Edit. I have the model open. So in the model window, we will right-click the Los Angeles River output data. So output data. So Los Angeles River output that I'm gonna make as a parameter. And we don't have to create a variable. So the Los Angeles River river buffer output data element, and we make it parameter. So we don't have to create a variable first as we did with the other parameters, because data elements are variable by definition. Because we are now using this element as a parameter, we can give it a cleaner label so it look more polished in the tool dialog box. So here I have to rename this Los Angeles River. I'm going to rename it gonna delete everything. So we will say output river buffer. Okay, and we will scroll to the far right of the model to set the output recommended site as a parameter. So which is this one. So I'm gonna set it as a parameter, and of course that I added to display. And running the tool versus running the model. So running the model from the model builder ribbon runs all the processing using the default value, and running the tool from the project pane runs things using the value we enter to the parameter box. Most models are ultimately meant to be run as tool by users. We will probably never actually open the model to see how it works, and we will validate the model and then save it. So I'm gonna validate it now, and then save it, the model, and save the project. So save the model and gonna save the project. And we will run the tool using different values. Now we will run the model using some different parameter values. So I'm gonna close it out. Okay, I saved everything and I don't need to see this. So I'm gonna check around. So in this project pane, in the project toolbox, we double click the Park Suitability Analysis tool, and this tool appears all the parameter we set in model, which is right here. And then run the tool with all the default parameter values. Note that the output data that we configure as parameter is now being added to the map as a map layer. So I'm gonna do it again. And you can see these layers are locked. And now we will run the tool again with the different values and save the result feature classes with the different names. So, okay, so this is the site. Wow, cool. Okay, now it automatically added. So now we will add the park acres. So distance to change it into 1. And then added the park size. So we change the distance to Los Angeles River value to 1, and we will add the park size in acre clause to acre is greater than or equal to acres is greater than equal to 0.5. 0.5. So there, I can just look at as like this. We will append the text and text of, so recommended here. I'm gonna change it. Text 1 mile. Los Angeles River buffer. I can just change the name. Los Angeles River. Output buffer. So output buffer underscore 1 mile. And then here I would just say recommended sites 1 mile. Okay, so we have 1 and 0.5, and we change here 0.5. Save everything here remains, and we will just run. And when we finish, then we will see and compare. So when it's done, then the 2 layers are added here on our map. We should now see 1 mile and the larger. See, I'm gonna go. This is 1 mile, and if I move this on top, identity, I think this is gone. Let's see, 1 mile. I cannot see this layer. That's weird. Okay, I have the recommended 1 mile here. Zoom to layer. Gonna close this out. That's interesting. I cannot see. So the two new layers are added to the map, and we should now see 1 mile and larger parks result 1 mile displayed on top of the original results we created. If not, then this is Los Angeles River 1 mile. Okay, and the buffer, yeah, it shows the buffer. And we will turn the 1 mile results on and off to compare with the original results. There are 11 sites that match the new criteria potential park. Sites must be larger but can be further away from the river. We will open the attribute table for recommended site 1 mile to see the new yeah. Okay, so and then and we will expand model outputs, so which is right here. And the geodatabase we should have contain 4 feature classes, 2 from this run, so of the model, and the 2 from the previous run. So experiment with the tool, adjust the other parameter values. So we can see this. Okay, so site identity. I'm going to zoom to layer. I cannot see. I'm gonna. Oh, because they are so tiny. Alright, those are the site recommended site. So it's really tiny. Remember the one we run before, it was tiny as well. So I'm gonna uncheck this. Yeah. There. Okay. So we now see 2 ways to carry an analysis project as a series of standalone geoprocessing operations and as a model that can also be used as a tool. And models offer a lot of advantages, but it is an open question as to how fully developed the analysis should be before we turned it into a model. We recommend planning the analysis in traditional way, sketching the workflow on a paper or workboard, whiteboard, experimenting with geoprocessing tools, and discussing the results with colleagues. So we will wait until we have a firm plan before we take the analysis into Model Builder. And remember that even the firm plan will probably change. We will start with Model Builder as the whiteboard, and we may find that model gets too messy in the early planning stages and needs constant corrections. So, of course, the more we know about analysis, geoprocessing tools, and the model builder, the sooner we can get the model in good working order. So once that is done, it is relatively easy to add further complexity. So now we have run the analysis and identified some suitable park sites. We will need to communicate the results with stakeholders and decision makers through map products. So here we will create a printable map layout with essential cartographic elements such as title, scale bar, north arrow, and legend. Okay, so now we're going to present the analysis results. So communicating the findings is very important to a diverse audience of the reader. With levels of sophisticated ranging from public citizens to council members to the city urban planners, we must ultimately design an actual park. It is no easy task. So the analysis has yielded a short list of candidate sites that we want to present to the city council and other interested parties. We will make the presentation in the form of a map that places the result in a meaningful geographic context, addresses the project guidelines that follows good cartographic design principles, and the deliverable item is an 8.5 times 11-inch map that can be printed or viewed on screen. But wait, we will be thinking, what is wrong with simply adding the layer of recommended site to an online base map as we already did? There is nothing wrong with it, and a base map will be part of the map design, but the map design must accomplish a lot of things. We will be adding inside maps and customizing the positions, positions of labels and other text, and incorporating other standard cartographic elements such as scale bar and north arrow. The analysis results are not too complex. We basically want to show just the study area represented by the Los Angeles River buffer zone and the 6 proposed park boundaries. Okay, the park boundaries. And then we want to set these analytical layers against a backdrop of topography, place names, and major roads. Perhaps the biggest design challenges we face is that these 6 locations are small puzzles of land strung out over a 20 miles stretch of river corridor. How do we map the area of interest without rendering the parks too tiny to see at that scale? And the solution lies in the use of inset maps. Smaller maps placed within the main map, each one portraying a close-up view of a particular site. Cartography involves innumerable choices about color, font, line, width, the placement and juxtaposition of elements, and so on. So these are often somewhat subjective decisions with many good and bad possibilities. And here we will show, here it takes us through the creation of an exact design. We will show here the figure here we have actual size, but along the way we will have the option of alternating things to suit the own taste. We will just explain why we made the choices we did, but we don't have to follow the instructions with total fidelity. And now I'm going to experimenting with some of the setting will give us to a deeper understanding of how the software works and chance to make a map that suits our own aesthetic tastes. Okay, so now a full presentation of this type in the real world might include a variety of media products such as large format wall maps, smaller notebook size maps, printed reports, digital slideshows, and PDF downloads and websites. We cannot do all these things without writing another book. So here we are going to focus on a single map layout that will be printed on a standard letter size piece of paper, and we will go a step further and take the own results to the web. But for now, we will working medium will be a sheet of letter size paper. So we have to think how we represent the maps and how we're gonna do it, what fonts we're gonna find it, and ArcGIS Pro. Of course, there are different options, but we will do it all together right now. So now we're going to do is we will add everything and put things together. So first we will do is an 8.5 by 11-inch map is small, but would be worse if we were trying to pack a lot of features or a lot of detailed data into this format. We are using this size in recognition of the fact that many people do not have access to larger format printing devices, and if we can design well in small format, we will feel that much more comfortable and creative when we begin working in larger formats. So a good way to begin a map layout, just like an analysis, is with a sketch of the basic plan, the sketch for our map. You can just sketch. So we will create the main map. So beginning with this, we will create a new map that will be used for the map layout. So create a new map layout that we will do is I think I'll just stay in here, our maps. So map 7, okay, that's fine. I will remove the bright map nodes layer, which I do not have it here. And we will use a blue symbol, Los Angeles River. I do need Los Angeles River. Gonna get our Los Angeles River right here, Los Angeles River. There. Los Angeles River, I do need the Los Angeles River. And the sites are too tiny to see, but it's okay. Use a blue symbol. I cannot see blue. Waterline, property. I think I would do 2 or 3. There. Click apply. There. It's just too thick. Just do 2. Okay. And close it out. Topographic, turn it back on. Still cannot see. There. Just use this color then. We will change the map projection to properties. So coordinates, and it will be, yeah, web indicator. That's fine. Okay. That's the projection. And the world topographic map base map will make an unobtrusive background with topographic relief that will make the map less starky flat. And all the base maps in Pro, so in Pro, are based on WGS 1984 Web Mercator and auxiliary sphere, and therefore will display the least amount of distortion of features and the text of the map layout. And we will symbolize the Los Angeles River buffer. Okay, so now here we will created Los Angeles River buffer feature class. We will now symbolize using a hashed field symbol for the use of the layout. Now we will open symbology for the Los Angeles River buffer, which is this one. And then in the right click on the symbology. So I'm gonna do symbology. So for symbology, we will open symbology formatting, and I will switch to the property, yeah, which is right here, and then layer view. So under layer view, that I'm gonna change it. We will keep the line as a solid, and then change the color to black. So color to black. Okay. And then and width to 1 point. Click apply, and change the color to green. Change the drop down. Okay, we keep the line as a solid stroke, but change the color. So line, change the color to black, and then it's white, and then now it's this one. Okay. For this one, I'm gonna change it as buffer polygon, and change the drop down list solid to hatch fill. And then for the hatch fill, yeah, green, and the line width, it will be 0.05, and then okay, and pattern 45, okay, it will be 6. There. So we change the color to green and change the separation to 6 point. This options is located in the pattern drop down list, and separation in the distance between each of the hatch lines. Click OK. And then click apply. See, that's the hash thing here, And why make the buffer green? So one reason is that we have many layers to symbolize, and the green works well in the combination with the other color we're going to use. On a psychological level, by using green, we are also suggesting that this area is verdant, riparian habitat, where areas in reality much of it is either densely developed residential, commercial land, or industrial bright. Are you misleading your audience? So, or just being optimistic, whichever way you think of it. You must be aware as a cartographer that symbol may have hidden meanings as well as over one. Okay, and then the next one, we will add and symbolize the Los Angeles River city limits. So we only considered locations within Los Angeles itself. So it will be helpful to show the city limits on the map. And in the project pane, so our catalog pane, so now I'm gonna go to the folder in here, and maps and more. So in the project pane, we browse to the maps and more folder, drag the Los Angeles layer file, and I need to go back to and I have it here to the contents and drop it right above the base map layer. A horizontal gray bar marks the spot. When we spot a layer on the map, it takes its natural place in the top to bottom drawing order. So point, line, polygon, and raster. When we drop it in the contents pane, it goes exactly where we put it. So, and then we will change the symbol for Los Angeles layer to use the yellow bright symbol from the gallery view, and on the appearance ribbon. So, appearance ribbon, and I'm gonna change it into 95%. There, appearance. Transparent. Oh, okay. So close it out. And basically I cannot see it at all. Let's do 90 then. I cannot see at all. Let me do 90. I don't really like it. Yeah, 90 works, so the result is subdued yellow mark on the top of the base map. White places show through areas that are not part of the Los Angeles proper. Let's see. It is still weird. I think I'm gonna do 80. Yeah, I like 80 better, or I would say 85. Let's change it into 85. Yeah, I still can see the border and everything, so I like 80. 85 works better instead of 95. And then I will set the map extent. So at the moment, the map is zoomed to the extent of the Los Angeles River buffer layer. So although this is the area of interest, we must make a little more room around the edge of the inset maps. So below the map, we will set the map scale, close everything out, and set the map scale to 1 and 160. No, 1. And I have a 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Okay, I'm gonna pan here a little bit. So it's very close. I do believe it's 160. Yeah, I missed the 1. There. So now we can see everything. Okay. At this scale, 1 inch on the map equals about 2.5 miles on the ground. So with the ArcGIS Pro window maximized, the map extent should be close to that of the figure, and although the result depends on such things as the size and screen resolution of the monitor, our purpose, the extent is more important than the scale. So on the map tab in navigation group, and we will create bookmark. So go to map, bookmark, and new bookmark, and I will call it Los Angeles River layout extent. Now we will do symbolize recommended sites. So for this, we will add a little bit more at each time, so then our map will be really nice to present. So, and that it will look nice and everything is really cool. Okay, then I will do is I'm gonna symbolize the recommended sites. So the 6 recommended sites are the most important feature on the map. So because our results was to find those maps, but they are so small and close together that we must do some creative symbology to make them show up. So in the sketch at the beginning here, we have resticles to represent the site locations and balloon labels to designate site ID and acres. We will create these effects here by symbolizing the recommended sites layer, a polygon layer as a point marker, and create callout text symbols because we can easily enlarge the symbols to a size that will draw the map reader's attention. We will use them as substitutes for the small site polygons. It will still be important to show the actual shape and size of the sites, and to do that we will create inset maps here. So we will turn on the recommended sites layer. If necessary, we will open its attribute table. So I don't know if I do 1 mile or just the recommended sites. I don't need this. Okay, let me just remove things I don't need. Sites access 1 mile. Remove. Okay, we do need Los Angeles buffer, and I don't need this. I'm gonna remove everything. Sites access identity. I'm gonna remove everything. Okay, 1 mile, remove. Okay, so that's the layer we need, and I'm gonna run the model again. So this time I'm gonna run the model. So the model will be there. Yeah, perfect. And to run this model, okay, Los Angeles River buffer. Okay, buffer, and sites identity. Okay, site identity is our layer, so I don't have to run it again. So this is site identity. So this is the recommended site. Okay, and then I'm gonna rename it. Okay, rename it. So recommended site layer. So recommended site layer. Recommended sites layer. So I'm gonna open attribute table. So that we have a 6. So that's the 6 here. Open the symbology for recommended sites. Okay, so I'm gonna do the recommended site, which is this one. So, or I don't have to use this one. I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna remove it and add it from here, recommended sites. It's the same here. I'm gonna open it up. Yeah, it's the same. Recommended site and symbology. So double click on it. and go back to gallery. No, right click on it and go to symbology. So single symbology, very good. And select the symbol to open format symbol. Okay, and then click structure button. So structure button, so structure, which is right here. And under layer, click add symbol, and then marker layer. So symbology, we click the structure. This is the structure button. And under layers, so under layers, we click add symbol layer and then marker layer. Very good. And for marker layer, so that we will delete the line. So where is the line? Delete the line. Delete layer. So delete the line. So marker layer, add a symbol layer. Layers, add effect. Okay. Add effect. I'm gonna expand it. Okay. So add effect and add a maker. So maker layer. Maker layer. Oh, I made it too many. Delete this, delete this, delete this. So I have this. Okay, so I don't need this neither. So it will be like this. Click apply. And then switch to the layer tab. Gallery. Under appearance. So go back to appearance and then appearance and then form. Click style. Oh, right here. Appearance and then form. Didn't have form. Effects. Okay, form. Okay. Form. I would say click style. This is font. Style right here. Alright, and then circle 3. And the appearance, which is right here, and then click style. Click OK. And then we have a circle 3 and click OK, click apply. And we will change the size into 6 point. And expand maker placement and change placement to at center. So maker marker placement and then placement, it will be at center. Click apply. So and now we have everything here. Shape fill, element, and shape fill color. It's all dot, yeah. And 6 outline color. It's a little different now. We do not have outline color angle. Point size is 6. Outline, it didn't show outline at all. So, and each of the 6 sides is symbolized with the red circles at the center of each polygon. So on the map, the symbol stands out approximately. Cartographers often use bright colors called spot colors for the features they most want to call attention on the map. Let's see. Actually, I don't really like those dots, but it's too tiny, so it's better just use the dots, okay? Offset and everything is 0, and on polygon at center, here it changes. Okay, point size, okay. and the size is 10. That's fine. I just leave it be. And close this out. And now we're going to label the sites. We will use site ID field to label it. So highlight the recommended site and we will go to labeling. And go to labeling and I'm gonna label here. And then the field we will say site ID. Okay, site ID. And right click on it and then labeling property. I'm gonna label it. Just label there. Okay, so cannot really see. And we will right click on here and I did for the site ID. In the text symbolization, I will do expand the gallery. So expand the gallery and I will choose click, scroll down, call out. I'm not familiar here. Call out. Click call out. Okay. Label button and class group text symbol. Text symbol and text symbol that it's regular. Layout. Oh, text symbol. Can I click here? Yeah. Symbol. Okay. Call out. Sans serif. Boundary, label placement. Oh, right here. So okay, right here. Okay. And then choose this. Okay. Click, close it out. Alright, I have it. Okay. And click the text symbol in the lower right corner of the text symbol group to open the label class pane. Label class pane. Sans serif. There. Label class. Okay, gonna apply it. Oh, that's weird. I didn't do a good job. There. Okay, so that's this layer. Text symbol, which was here, and then text symbol group label class pane. Label class pane. Okay, label class pane. Right here, label class pane. And then confirm that the symbol tab is selected at the top of name between the class position. So I'm gonna go to position. That the general tab A is selected, general tab. And we will expand the call out and change the color to change the color call out. So I'm gonna go back to symbol. Okay, call out is right here. I'm gonna change it. So balloon and outline color and outline color. So the color. So expand call out and change the color to change this color to this one. So the poinsettia red to match the marker layer color. And I'm gonna change it this color. This one. Click apply. So now it matched the marker color. And the label are now drawing with the correct style but are overlapping in areas in which we have groups of sites such as site 4, 5, and 6. We will apply an offset to draw leader lines to the sites when needed. So now we will click the Position tab at the top of the pane and expand the placement group. Position placement, and so set the preferred offset to 10. So prefer offset to 10. So I'm gonna increase until 10. And then points 100, everything is okay. Horizontal polygon, so set the preferred offset to 10. Okay, preferred offset. When we are finished, we will close the label class pane. And now we zoom to the Los Angeles layout, extend bookmark. We will okay, close it out. Now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. And everything is cool, and we're gonna save our project. Save. And if we continue to, we will continue now. So we will create a layout using the Los Angeles River and a inset map. So we were now working with an ArcGIS Pro layout. Viewing and working with data is one thing, and composing a map for the printed page is something else. So this is interesting that composing a map from the printed page is something else. So viewing and working with the data is one thing, and composing a map for printing page is something else. And in composing a map, we must take into account not only the design considerations, but also output constraints such as paper size and page orientation and print margins. Map composition is done in a layout, the graphical page layout environment of ArcGIS Pro. Now we're going to create a new layout frame. So in the Insert tab in the project group, I'm gonna click New Layout. So go back to Insert and New Layout. So for New Layout, and under the NANSI landscape selection, I'm gonna click Letter. So in the contents pane, rename the new layout. So I'm not gonna rename it. And also note that the new layout has been added to the layout folder in the project pane. So which is where layouts is right here. So layout is right here. And even if the printer size differences, use AINA anyway to complete the exercise, but I'm gonna do it here. And we will insert a frame, map frame, using the Los Angeles River extend bookmark. So insert a map frame. So okay, insert a map frame. Okay, I'm gonna do Los Angeles extend. Okay, right here. There. So everything is added perfect. So the idea of the map frame takes on new significance in a layout. In a map where we have worked until now, a map frame is an abstract container of the layers. So apart from one or two special properties such as its coordinate system setting that controls on-the-fly projection, we generally do not pay much attention to it. In a layout, the map frame is visual. It's a rectangular window placed on a virtual sheet of paper and serves as a key element in the map composition. And in the template, the default margins around the map frame are set to 1 inch on all sides. Most of this place would be wasted in our layout because we are going to place all the map content, data, and margin both directly in the map frame. We will enlarge the map frame, leaving just as minimal amount of white space around the edge of the page. So now, for the map frame, I'm gonna click Properties. And for the property, the format, frame pen for the placement. So placement, and change the width to 10.5. And the height will be 8. There. 8. Okay, so 10.5 and 8. And x to 0.25 and y to 0.25. And perfect. Okay. There. It's perfect. Okay, and now it's a good time to make the distinction between the navigation tools on the Layout tab for the map frame and the map layout itself. So the icon for the navigation tool on the Layout tab in the Navigate group, we will show 1 and 8.5 times 11-inch page in the background of the layout. So go back to layout, and then I'm gonna do is right here, full extend width and elements, select elements 100%, and view previews and stuff. Okay. And the layout, there are tools used to navigate around the actual map layout. So the layout navigation tools magnify, reduce, and otherwise adjust the view of the map layout. We do not change the scale or extent of the map within the map frame. We will try to zoom in and zoom out the page using the scroll wheel, and pan using the left mouse button. Press the Shift key to enable a zoom in tool, and use the full extend button to which is this one, to return to the entire map layout. Okay, so we have the Shift key and we use everything, and on the Layout tab in the map group we will click Active button. So activate. So note that the ribbon changes again, and we are now, I can close it here, and we are now manipulating the map that resides within the map frame. And we will zoom into the Los Angeles River and use the mouse to pan around the map. And note that the map scale below the map is changing as we zoom in and zoom out of the map. And use the Los Angeles River layout extend bookmark to return to the overview. While sitting in activation mode, we want to reposition the Los Angeles River buffer more precisely in our layout to make room for the insert maps. So we will use the zoom tool and map scale to position the buffer similar to the figure, and we will give a room for the north and east of the buffer for the inset maps. So now we will go back to the layout by going to the Layout tab, and in the map group we will close activation. So now go back to the layout, and then and in the project Layout tab, and it's not activated, close. Okay, so I can activate and go back to layout, and I can just click this, alright, or I can go back, click here. So the ribbon resets for manipulating the layout. So both sets of tools work in layout view, so we must be careful which navigation tools we are using. And now we will create a new map, recommended sites. Now we're going to insert maps again. So we will insert a lot of things, and that will be very interesting. I never work on the ArcMap, ArcGIS Pro to do like this, and right now it's a lot of chance for me to learn, and it's really a good book that it will teach you the detail and give you a lot of practice so that you are familiar with and you are comfortable to do a lot of things here. Okay, so we're going to create a new map, the recommended. So create a new map of recommended sites. So insert a new map and name it here. Insert a new map. I will change the base map to imagery. So, okay, I do need a new map. Insert a new map. That I have a new map, I would say lesson 8. Change the name. 8. And we will change the base map to imagery, so I'm gonna do imagery. Go back to map and base map, imagery. So now we have imagery. At the large scale of the inside map, imagery will show the site it really looks, and keep in mind that the base map layer are updated periodically, so which is nice. So in the project pane, add the recommended sites feature class from the analysis output project geodatabase. So geodatabase recommended sites, I'm gonna add it here. So, and then open the symbology and change the field to no color. So no color, and right click on it, and the yellow, double click on it, and then color outline will be yellow, and the width will be 3. Click apply and close it out, and we'll just say zoom to layer. Okay, still cannot see. And now we will create a bookmark for each and the recommended sites to make it easier to add them to the layout. Open the attribute table and recommended site, and in the site we will small gray square text to the first record, site 1, and then click zoom to. So I'm gonna right click on it, click table, and right click on it and zoom to. So that's the first site. And create a bookmark. I think we already did. So bookmark, and I think I did all the bookmark. So we will place inside maps and other graphic elements. So an inside map is a small supplemental map that shows part of the main map area at a large scale. So it reveals detail not apparent at the site of the main map. So an overview map by contrast shows the main map at a smaller scale to place it to the text of its surroundings. So I'm gonna do bookmark again. So site 1. So okay, and then site 2 will bring me to site 2. Yeah. And then site 3, and then site 4, site 5, bookmark site 6. So I think I don't have to create bookmarks, so we will see. So the inset maps is a small supplementary map that shows part of the main map's area at a larger scale. So it reveals details not apparent at the scale of the main map. So an overview map by contrast shows the main map at a smaller scale to place it in the text of its surroundings. We want map readers to have a close-up look at each of the sites, so we will create 6 large scale inset maps. So sometimes you do small scale maps to tell you where it is. We cannot simultaneously set different map scales within a single map frame, except with the viewer's window, so we must insert some new map frames. In fact, we will insert 6 of them and place them around the main map as shown here in our sketch. So now we have everything. The layout tab has a layout icon next to it. The map tab has an icon map to it. So we will have to see we will insert a new map frame to contain the first inset map on the Insert tab. So in the map frame group, we will click the drop down arrow on the map frame, scroll down to the list of bookmarks here, and click Site 1 under Contents. So open Properties of New Map Frame. Under Options, we will rename it Site 1. Okay, so now I'm gonna do layout. So insert a new layout. Here it's a little weird. So we have to do a lot of them. So we will have to do it slowly and put it nicely, and because a lot of maps here, we're gonna add it here. So the first one I'm gonna do is that the inset map is small, that I will the inset map is small, so we open this layout, lesson A. Okay, oh, okay, so it should be this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back to our layout. Okay, layout, which is right here. So yeah. And the tab has this icon next to it. Okay, so then we will insert new map frame here. So on the insert tab, okay, then that I'm gonna do is that is cool. Okay, layout, insert tab, in the insert tab, which is right here, and we have the map frame, and click the drop down arrow on map frame. Yeah, right here, map frame, we have here everything here, and scroll down the list of bookmarks to lesson 8 recommended. That's weird. Okay, map frame layout. So go back to layout. On the insert tab in the map frame group right here, and click the drop down arrow on the map frame. Layout. Okay, right here, map frame. Layout tab. Okay, I'm gonna go back to layout tab. Okay, layout tab, and not map series, not orientation, select, not select. Okay, map frame. Extend something, I don't see it. Extend view, full extent. North arrow. Oh, it's in insert. I think I'm in the wrong. Close everything out and layout view. Okay. I think I have to activate it. Let's see. Layout. Okay, activate. And layout. Insert tab. Alright, I'm in here. bring it back, insert. Oh, should be here. Okay. And then it's not in layout view. Map frames. Layout. And then here it doesn't have a layout. Layout is here. Okay. Not map series. That's weird. Okay, I'm not exiting this, and there was nothing to add on. Okay, I will rest a little bit and we will come back to it. So, because this was a long session and we will come back to it, okay?